Hey guys, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to set up our toad, which means we have to create a new script for our toad object. It's going to control everything the toad can do. We're going to also have to set up a path. So there's a bunch of ways we could do the jump for our toad because they have to jump from one pad to another. Now, I need to know exactly where my toad's going, and I need to be able to control it very precisely because it has to jump from an exact point on one pad to an exact point on another. And there's a bunch of ways we can do this. We could set up, we could calculate the exact amount of velocity that we have to get from one point to another, but that's going to lose precision over time the more that we do that. Just a couple of points here and there, but it will make a difference. And also, we could do it with a parabola. We could just calculate the type of, or the parabola that we'll need to get from one point to the next. And that's a lot of math that we'll have to walk through and talk about. That's just not absolutely necessary to make a simple little game like this. So what we're going to end up doing is just placing a couple of points along the path that the toad has to jump. And then we're going to go from one point to the next whenever we jump. If we're on the left side, we'll jump and follow to the right. If we're on the right side, we'll jump and follow to the left. And that should cover what we need to do for such a simple game. And our toad also has to have the ability to strike or to attack using its tongue, which we'll set up the method for this for now, but we will not have the tongue action until a couple of lessons for now because we have to animate it and we have to set up collisions, we have to have flies to test it with, just a bunch of stuff we have to do for that. So over the next couple of lessons, we're going to be working on our toad and getting it to do all of these things. So the first thing I'm going to do for my toad is set up those jumping points so that we can jump from here to here. The way we'll do this is we'll have two toads, and the toad that's on the left side here can jump from this point up here, try to grab some flies, and fall down right here. We're not going to share a point because they're going to have to be next to each other while they're on the pad. The other frog could be standing right here. It'll jump, do the same thing, but it will land in the back. So they move the same distance. They have the same amount of ability and potential to catch these flies, but they're at a slightly different position. So what I'll do first of all is create an empty object, and we're going to be using empty objects to define the points for our path. So all I have to do is take this object. If I just grab this, I can just move it to wherever I want it to be and say, okay, this is where it's going to jump to from here to here and then down to here. So I can place this at maybe 1.5, maybe something like 2, however high you want your frog to jump. And again, place it at 0 on the Z there. And I'll call it path point. And then I have to have 2 points on each of these pads to show where the frogs start and where they can end up. So to do that, I'll create an empty object and I will call it left pad. And again, I'll just center this. And inside of left pad, I'll have a couple of empty objects that I can place where I want them to be. So I'm thinking this is about -4 and -2.75, or maybe -2.8, maybe -3. I have to see how that looks whenever we set this to be at that point. If we look at our toad, we can see -2.75 is right on the pad. So we'll do that for this path point. Then I'll duplicate that. And I'll put this one at about -5.5 where that frog is going to be. And we have those 2 points there. And then all I have to do is duplicate the left pad and then move these over. I'll rename it right pad and move these over to the right. So instead of being negative, 0 is right here. We're off -4 and -5.5. So I want to go +4 and +5.5. Basic math there. So 4 and then 5.5. And there we go. That's our path. So we can jump from here up to there, and then down to this point, and then jump from here up to there and down to this point. Just keep going back and forth. Both toads. So that's going to be it for this short lesson. In the next lesson, we're going to start using these path points to control our toad. My name is Austin, and I will see you there.